Visa runs. Bloody visa runs. Any expat will tell you that visa runs are going to be in any expat's top 3 of most hated things about living in Southeast Asia. I think for me it goes noise, poor air quality, visa runs. Now, that's not me slagging off Southeast Asia. I live out here for a reason. There's loads of fantastic reasons that outweigh those to live out here, I would say. Mainly the lack of Africans. Loads of other reasons. But that is a big one. So yeah, I've got a bit of a dilemma. I've got a bit of a decision to make. For long-term viewers will know, as always, but for the last time this time, I have rushed into signing a 3-month contract onto a flat. I took on another flat way too fast to escape the last hellhole of a flat. And whilst they do get better every time, this was, well, any apartment, if you live in an apartment block, you need to be numb and unconscious, because it's just always going to be noisy, and it's always going to be of a low vibration, just because of the building materials that are used, the proximity to other people who are very likely to be of a low vibration. It just is shit. I hate it. It doesn't work for me. So I've almost lived there for a month now, so I've got another 2 months of my contract. So obviously when I moved in there, I was like, I'll do a visa run, I'll come back to the lot. It's a day of hell. So just for anyone who doesn't know, visa runs are when your visa expires, you need to renew your visa. And for some reason, in I think pretty much every Southeast Asian country, they make you leave the country and come back. The only reasoning I can work out for this is 2 reasons. Well, one really, it's to create an economy. Like, obviously there's a big economy in that, like people have to pay for aeroplanes or drivers and buses. I mean, it's a whole industry. Plus, you know, like for example, if I do a visa run from here to Cambodia, Cambodia gets a £25 visa fee off me, even if I'm only there for an hour. So there's a whole economy around it, probably which goes way deeper than I understand. And then there might also be something around trying to make it hard for people to just stay, but then at the same time it seems like they want expats. You know, it's very hard to work out. You know, like any country goes through, there's always any legitimate country that actually cares about itself and its people, i.e. it's not run by tyrannical small hats like all the Western countries and are deliberately destroying themselves. So if we're speaking about countries that still hold some common sense, there's this constant balance between, you know, because basically nobody likes immigrants. Now obviously the type of immigrant expat that's here is very different, because they actually contribute. They don't grape, they don't take handouts, they don't get superior treatment over the locals. So yeah, very, very different to back home. But basically, any country that's sane, if it was economically viable and didn't need anything from external, I don't think they'd really let expats in, because there's this constant balance between like how much can we put up with people from another culture and like, oh, look at the money they're bringing. Whereas in the UK, they don't contribute anything. They just bring shit, and they bring real shit. So, you know, the worst you're going to get from someone that looks like me out here. At the moment, there's a bit of an explosion of YouTube videos about people misbehaving in Da Nang. But, you know, it's just people getting pissed up and maybe getting into a fisticuff. It's not like, you know, groups of muzzies organised, graping young girls, and the police know about it and no one does anything about it because they're scared of being called racist. And the system is controlled by small hats, and they want white people to be terrorised and genocided. So that's great fun. Anyway, my whole thing. So yeah, so on the 20th of this month, in about 10 days time, I was going to do a visa run. And then, so obviously I flew into the lot. Unbeknownst to me, they were closing the airport for 6 months. Very shortly after I flew in. So you could say I timed it well. But I feel like I've timed it badly. Because I basically moved to the lot at the same time that they're closing the airport. They're closing the airport for 6 months. So what has gone from, you know, a day of torment, you know, probably actually like 12 hours of torment, flying out of Dalat to Cambodia and flying back all in one day, has become 2 days of hell. So it's going to, so there's another airport, this is mental. There's another airport 3 hours away, which to fly from there to Phnom Penh, Cambodia, is 6 hours. But all the flights back, every single one, is 16 or 15 or 16 hours. So I just can't get my head around that. And they're both direct flights. Cannot work that out. If you can work that out, let me know in the comments. So I'm like, oh, maybe I'll fly out and get the bus back. But the bus is obviously a fucking nightmare. So that would involve going from Phnom Penh to Ho Chi Minh to here. You know, basically a day of traveling. So I've kind of thought, well, let's try and sublet the flat. Let's try and get out of this contract. I've got really good estate agents who are really fair. They showed someone around this morning, a Russian guy who might take it. And then I'll be free. But then where do I go? Because Dalat is special. It has really good air quality. It's high altitude. So, you know, we are in burning, no, we're not in burning season anymore. We're in hot season. And I'm out at midday. And I'm not even sweating. In fact, you know, it's hot, but it's pleasurable. It's gorgeous. It's like, imagine the hottest day of the year in the UK. Maybe not even that hot, actually. It's just nice. There's lots to do here as well. Like, there's a really established pickleball and badminton communities. I've got a decent gym. My yoga teacher is great. Yesterday, there were 5 of us in the class, and he spent so much of it, and I'm the most retarded, like I'm terrible at it. But yesterday I actually got to headstand with his help. He was holding my legs. But yeah, I think he fancies me actually. I think he's gay for me. It's really hard to tell with Southeast Asians because the stuff that usually, you know, you notice if somebody's gay. So basically, softness or femininity. For a Westerner, I just see that in all Southeast Asians. So I don't mean that as a put down. I mean like they're just, yeah, it's just a softer, more feminine nature. So yeah, it's hard to tell, but he is pretty fucking camp. So maybe that's why he gives me lots of attention. I don't know, but either way, he's really helping me improve my yoga, which for me is just about, you know, muscle strength and balance and fitness and health. Anyway, so that's great. So basically it's like, okay, so if I leave in 10 days, basically the thought of these 2 days of hell, 2-day visa run, is making me think, well, I just can't be bothered until the airport's open again, so I'll just go somewhere else. But then it's hot season, so where else do you go? Yeah, I think I'm starting to lean more towards, F it, I'm going to come back to Dalat and just go through those 2 days. But I've got, you know, until I make this decision, I can't really book anything. So I think today is the day I'm going to have to make the decision. I've been looking at all the other options. Japan isn't feasible for me budget-wise right now. To have a similar standard of living to what I'm experiencing now would cost 3 times more. So I'm spending about £1,000, maybe 1,200 a month at the moment in Dalat, and that's living quite well. You know, I'm not the, you know, I'm doing basically anything I want, and yeah, to have a similar lifestyle in Japan, I think we'll be talking like between 3 and 4 grand. So that's not feasible. It is a reason to maybe focus. You know, because I've been kind of coming to this place of like, well, I don't need more than 2 grand a month. So, you know, why really work harder? Why improve my, let's say, editing skills or whatever, you know, because I'm surviving. But actually, oh no, I'd like to go to Japan. Well, for that really, to live well in Japan, you need £5 a month, maybe £4 grand. So yeah, there isn't really. And now that I've experienced a lot, I'm not going to live low altitude unless it's, you know, maybe in, what do you call it, it's not winter, but the coolest seasons out here. You know, there's this Lang Prabang, obviously I'm saying that completely wrong because I'm retarded, but there's this place in Laos that sounds really interesting, but it's only going to be livable for 3 months a year, like all of Southeast Asia for me now that I've experienced living high altitude. So yeah, I think I'm just going to have to accept 2 days of hell to live in a cool climate with decent air quality. So I'm going to bring you the final Jew in the basement update. Of course, Kabir is what I should always have called him by his name, but I'm a YouTuber and I try and make things funny. Really, yeah, he was a really good man. He was a really kind man. He's dead. I found out today he's dead. So you saw my conversation with the host, where I was like, "Is he awake?" And she was like, "Yes." And maybe that was true. Maybe he died after that. But what I find, obviously, there's the whole like lost in translation thing. That's going on. But what I find with these cultures, and Jeff Berwick even says it about Mexicans, I don't know if it's a low IQ thing or what, but or whether it's endearing or not. I mean, I just find any sort of lie or inauthenticity, that's a strong word, the opposite of endearing, but I appreciate, you know, where, you know, maybe it comes from in a low IQ world, maybe it comes from, you know, trying to do the right thing, but basically lying, like you get that a lot with these cultures, in terms of they don't want to give you the nasty truth. They would rather tell a lie than deal with anything difficult, basically. So yeah, I was very much under the impression that he'd survived and assumed that he was back in America. But no, when Alex, the Israeli estate agent, came around this morning with a potential Russian tenant, yeah, he told me that he died. So that's a bit shit. But then at the same time, he was a big fat bastard. Not bastard, but just, well, he was just very fat. And I imagine, judging his level of consciousness, I imagine he took a few jabs. So, in that case, it's what's meant to be. Give you a little Dow update, the dog as well, while we're here. My God, he's really hard work. I had him in my apartment 2 nights ago, and for the first hour and a half, he was just so intense. And then he calmed down, and I kind of was like, well, he doesn't get any attention. Of course he's going to be intense, but it's, you know, coming from somebody who worked with dogs for 5 years, you know, worked with 50 dogs a day and dog trainer and all that. He's very intense. Like, fucking these cunts, man. I'm so bored of these cunts. Honestly, right, I saw it too. I mean, you can kind of, oh my God, he was turning down there, like, why is he even beeping? Like, but you can kind of rationalise it for the big trucks, this beeping culture. But it's just, honestly, it's unbelievable. Like, some of them have horns that are like songs, like, yeah, look at them, they just beep constantly, man. Like, I don't need to know you're going past, I'm at the side of the road, I'm not fucking so retarded that I'm going to suddenly turn left without looking. You know, you can see everything that's going on. Just do what we do in the West. Only in this situation. Don't do anything else we do in the West. Everything else we do is retarded because we're Geusler. What are you pointing at? What are you pointing at? So this is my fruit friend. We have quite a good bit of camaraderie. I've just turned up and he's like pointing at me. Hello, my friend. I was making a point. Oh yeah. I just don't understand this beeping culture. So, as in, like, obviously I don't need the retards to be like, they do it to let you know they're going past. Like, yes, obviously I understand the surface level of it, you fucking retard. But I don't understand, like, when you balance out the pros and cons, like, clearly it's cons. Anyway, the other day, yesterday, I drove past a guy who was coming the other way on a bike, who had got a recording coming out of a speaker of him beeping constantly. And what I see, not so much with the trucks, but with these bikers that do it, I just see entitlement. Like, obviously the culture is to beep to let people know you're going past. But people seem to think that if they beep, it gives them a right for everyone else to move out of the way. Like, it's just abhorrent. Like, I really hate it. Anyway, let's go and see the fruit man. He always gives me 2 free bananas, so we like this guy. I am the fruit man. Oh no, that was it. This is a song that I was thinking the other day, oh, this would be good for YouTube, but I've flown it now, just rather than doing it. And I got it wrong. It was meant to be, I am the coconut cutting man. I come from the lat and I can cut the coconut. That was gonna be it. Alright, let's get my shit. So that, obviously, if you spoke the language, you could go a lot deeper. But I don't have any desire to. But that's coming, it's not a Vietnam thing, it's I judge myself to be a high level of consciousness. And you'll find that as you gain consciousness or self-knowing, that your desire to speak to other people just diminishes. What I'm trying to say is... Hello, my friend. Hello, my friend. Coconut? 2 coconut today. Thank you. What I'm saying is this is about as far as I would ever desire to or will ever get in terms of friendship out here. And to be honest, in the UK as well. Because like I say, I just don't seek friendship. Like, I don't seek the validation that people seek when they seek friendship. It's all just a distraction for me, from just being and being present and observing myself and the absurdity of this land. But yeah, this is, as far as I ever go into friendship, this is my Vietnamese friend. So I think I've basically made the decision to stay in Dalat. So I really want to experience Laos because they don't have this beeping culture. I believe they don't have a very strong karaoke culture, and it's definitely rude to make noise like after 10 PM in Laos, just from what I've read. Very much not the case here. You know, noises. Well, I just don't think they even. I don't think it's even recognised as noise. You know, it's just the way it is, and obviously it's just ingrained into the culture. And I always go back to when Carlos Tevez got interviewed after joining Man City, and they'd just given him a mansion, obviously with no neighbours, and he couldn't stand it because he'd been brought up in the slums of Argentina and all he knew was noise. So they moved him to a council estate that was really noisy, and he was so much happier there because, you know, that's what his nervous system, that's where his nervous system was, or his vibration was, you know. So the problem is it's hot season right now, and Dalat's climate is amazing. Now this Luang Prabang, I was told, and my research told me, that there's also a place of high altitude, but Dalat is at 1,500 meters above sea level, whereas Luang Prabang is only 300 meters and has a much worse air quality, is humid, is like your typical Southeast Asian weather basically. I'm just too much of a European for that. Although I do notice an acclimatization. So this is booming sunshine. When I first got to Dalat, obviously I don't wear sun cream. I'm not a retard that poisons himself with chemicals made by people that wear silly hats. So I was very conscious of the sun when I first got here. On a day like this, I'd wear long sleeves. I would wear my Palestine that isn't supposed to be Palestine but does look a bit pally, i.e. retarded, neck cover. Always try and seek shade, and I've just noticed that the last week I haven't been doing that. There's no... Yesterday, after being in the sun for a while, I'll put the neck thing on, just in case. But you know, at night there was no redness, there was nothing. So I think my body is getting used to it. So it could. So that's for sun. So it could get to a time where I don't need to be in high altitude. I've got a friend who lives in Thailand. I think he's been out there for the best part of a decade, and he talks about acclimatizing to it, and he used to be able to go out in the daytime. So I do think it is a thing. But yeah, right now, so I've lived out. I left the UK about 8 months ago, this second time. I also did a year in Thailand before that. But then I spent 6 months in the UK, so I probably lost the acclimatization of that year in Thailand. So basically I've been acclimatizing for 8 months now, and I am starting to notice that, like, oh well, my body is acclimatizing. But basically I think what I'm going to do is book that ticket out of here on the 20th, because I have to leave. Because obviously that's just going to get more and more expensive. The ticket out of here was only 100 quid on that 6-hour plane ride that I told you about from my airport. It's 3 hours away. So if I just get that booked, and then you see, I've been waiting to see if I rent the flat, and I've had this story of if I rent the flat, I'll leave the flat, but I can't think where to go to. So I think I'm just going to come back to the flat anyway. So in that case, I should just book it all. But this idea of a 2-day visa run is just making me feel ill. Maybe if I just book the first bit, just get that done, and then I'm not committed to anything, and maybe I can do things a bit more slowly, but I've got a routine here, and I know where I can get a smoke and all that sort of thing. I think I'm just going to come back to that. Okay, come on. But she's just going to put the banana in the bag and then smile at me, and that's his way of saying I'm giving it to you for free.
80,000.
80. Oh, there we go, banana in bag. No way in a banana. Come on. Hey, see you tomorrow. And then there's just things like, what a fucking surprise. Honestly, it's just unreal. And then there's things like my yoga instructor, like, he's great. I mean, even if the reason he's great is because he wants to slip his finger up my bum, like, he's still great. And then, I know I keep talking about pickleball and badminton, I haven't done it yet. So, the next video is going to be about a Vietnamese Karen who has thrown a bit of a spanner in the works, or knocked my confidence a bit when it comes to joining the pickleball club. She totally Karened out on me with that. I'll do a whole episode on that because it's fucking hilarious. I don't want it to be like at the end of this one and people miss it. I want it to be its own episode because I think that is fucking funny. Whoa, what's this Negro doing? Oh, more beeping. That's it, end of this clip. No, it's not, there's more, because I remembered what I was saying. So these little things might sound like nothing, but when you're living, I'm not really an expat, I'm not really a travel vlogger, I'm somewhere in between, but I'm moving towards being an expat. It still makes YouTube videos, but I can't really call it travel vlogging because I hate fucking traveling. It's the fucking worst. But when you've been living like I have since I left the UK, like moving around a lot, when you start to get some routine and something that really benefits you, you know, so basically I'm referring to yoga and potential pickleball there. These things are really important, and then to just move and start again. Because the thing is, with this particular yoga teacher who really helps me, by which I mean he physically grabs me and puts me into the correct position. If I didn't have him as a yoga teacher, or someone that was doing that, or it was a small enough class for him to basically just focus on me because I'm the retarded baby elephant one, then I'd just be doing all the poses wrong and not getting the benefits from them. And by that I mean the physical benefits from them, not the praying to Indian demons. Oh, ain't life funny? If you haven't realised, it's all a paradox and there's pros and cons in everything. So yeah, drop the judgment and do what feels good. Just give you a building site update. Obviously it's fucking hell for me. It means I can never open my windows. Absolutely hate it. But this is 3 days on from the last time I filmed. These guys do not F about. Whoa, remember me showing you that structure and asking what it was? I thought it was a foundation, but actually I think that's gonna go on the top here, isn't it? That's gonna be the 3rd floor, I imagine. But yeah, look how fast it's going up. Now what I don't understand, I told you the other day that they live in this hut. At night they live in this hut. I can't imagine they've prioritised that over floor space. So I can't understand why it's so small, or why they're not using all of the ground area like the other one that the same owner has built, where he's basically used all the ground area and left a little bit for a car park. But this one seems to be leaving quite a lot of space there. So I'm kind of interested to know what ends up there, but not interested enough to stick around. I am actively trying to move out of this soulless, not hellhole, like it, you know, if you're unconscious, if you're numb, if you know, believe we live on a spinning globe and you've been cut off from all your intuition and senses, and you can't tell that you're not upside down and spinning around and hurting in that way, then you'd love this place. But I have my senses because I've been removing the layers, and I don't poison myself with sun cream and deodorant and shampoo and obviously fucking the ultimate poison, the jib jab. I don't drink fluoride water, so my pineal gland isn't completely calcified. I don't use fluoride toothpaste. All these goy things that people do. So yeah, so to me, living in a concrete building amongst lots of mechanical noise is just hell. Where I was walking, where this video started, for me that's where I need to be living, like out in that, because that matches my vibration. So we all know that there's no differences between people, there's no differences in culture, we're all exactly the same. To think that, you know, certain races or tones or looks are more desirable than others is just out and out racism and evil. It's not just, you know, based on reality and common sense, and obviously we all know that, don't we? However, I'll tell you who doesn't seem to know that. Asians. Particularly, oh my god, she should stop doing it, I don't believe it. Fuck. Oh no, she's doing it again. Particularly Asian women. So they avoid the sun like the plague. Because, I don't want to assume and put words in their mouth, but you'll often see them doing this, like covering themselves. You'll often see them using umbrellas, because quite clearly it's seen as more desirable to be of a lighter complexion. So it's interesting, isn't it, that whilst obviously in the West we all know, because we've been educated, not indoctrinated, definitely not indoctrinated, we've been educated to understand that we're all the same and anything else is just racist, and you can't question anything, because of course if you get called racist, that's the worst thing in the world. And it's so bad actually that you should let your homelands be invaded by mindless, brainless animals who only know violence and taking from others, have been brought up and actually only survived because of charity from the West, and now obviously expect that same charity that they're in the West, to the point that when you're giving them everything, hotels, food, PlayStations, driving lessons, two-tier justice, they still assault everyone and rape everyone and shank everyone. But there's no differences between this, and of course we've all been educated, so we know, and a lot of us have even been to university, which isn't extreme brainwashing, it's you know, it's extreme education. It's not just regurgitating what you're told to say, you know, you're really taught to think critically there. You know, so critically that you might believe that men can be women and women can be men. And, that chopping your dick off is a viable form of therapy. Oh, sorry, no, not therapy, because there's nothing wrong with it. It's just the way people are born. So why would you need therapy? Just chop your dick off. That will really sort it out. Anyway, but yeah, it's very interesting that those that haven't been conditioned with all that stuff, sorry, educated with all that stuff, are still able to detect differences between races and cultures, and clearly desire certain things over others, and you actually realise that it's only people of this complexion that have been taught that they are racist, and nobody else has been. So obviously that's not very good when you then mix and you do multiculturalism, because obviously diversity is our strength. It doesn't work very well, because one of them goes into it like, I'm a really bad person, my ancestors were terrible, I have to believe that we're all the same, and the other group goes into it with, we value our own and we hate you. So it doesn't really mix very well. Yeah, it's funny, that, isn't it? It's as if all of their education was a lie, and that we've all just been indoctrinated and fed a load of goy-slop lies all our life. It's funny, isn't it? I mean, if I didn't know better, if I hadn't have been so wonderfully educated, it'd be enough to make anyone a conspiracy theorist. You know, those things that we all dismiss because after the CIA killed JFK, they threw this term out there for anyone that was questioning it, and now anyone that questions anything gets labelled with this term. But then, whatever they question turns out to be true. It's really interesting, isn't it? It's like, how long until a conspiracy becomes fact is the only question now. Yet we're all still conspiracy theories. It's a good job I got educated and went to university and got the education I needed, so I'd never question anything. If it's on the TV and if the government say it, then it's true. And if you think anything else, you're a conspiracy theorist. Oh my god, I'm 10 minutes late for yoga. I'm going to do what I always judge other people for and come in late. Wow. Yeah, so when I did yoga in England, like, it was very much like, if you don't get in the first 2 minutes, you're not disrupting the class. But here they just waltz in whenever they want, they take phone calls. Just a bit same but different, except we're all the same. And everyone's equal. And don't even question it, you fucking racist. Anyway, here's my wonderful yoga teacher who potentially wants to stick his finger up my bum, but you know, we don't focus on that, we just enjoy the yoga.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, bless him, he's so cute, and I mean like in a cute Vietnamese friendly way, not in a sexual way. When he goes, balance, balance, when I'm like hopping around like a spastic. And I'm like, what do you think I'm trying to do? Like, I understand the concept. Everyone else is perfectly still. I don't think that I'm doing it better by like hopping around and falling over. Balance. Focus on the spoik in front of you. But I love him. I absolutely love him. But what makes me laugh, it just kind of goes into the whole Vietnam thing. And I appreciate that if one can learn to meditate with chaos going all around them, then that's the ultimate meditation. But it does make me laugh. So we go into this 5-minute meditation at the end. And I can often surrender to it because I'm just so relieved that the class is over, because it's just agony. But today, and it's always noisy, but today, so this is what I mean by cute. I mean, his own whole nature is just like lovely. But like, it's so cute how he'll put the meditation music on and he'll draw the curtains. But at the same time, thank you my friend, thanks for all your help, really good. I'm just telling everyone how good you are.
Thank you.
And so, you know, he'll draw the curtains and try and create this lovely meditation experience for everyone. But at the same time, you've got people out here playing music out their phones and tweaking weights around and grunting and groaning. You've got the music pumping from upstairs. You've got the weight section right above the yoga section. In my opinion, that should actually be the other way around. And then, to top it all off, hopefully I edited it well enough for you to be able to see it. One of the ladies, there's only me and 3 other ladies in the whole fucking yoga class. One of the ladies answers her phone on speaker during the meditation. I never even know what they're trying to achieve. Do they understand the concept of meditation? I don't know, it's weird. But then having said that, they're all shit hot yogas. I mean, maybe they're just absolute spiritual grand masters, and they can meditate and speak on the phone or speakerphone at the same time. I don't know. But it's it's just epitomises Vietnam, really, just like noise everywhere. But yeah, this beautiful love underneath it all. And like, it's amazing. It is amazing. If I could just get away from the noise, it would be my perfect country. Right, I'm gonna go for a sauna now. 3 cultural differences that I will never be able to get with. 1, noise. 2, littering. 3, using the shower, not only as a shower, but also as a changing room. When there's full stop, but especially when there's only 2 showers. Again, it's like, everything's a paradox in this world, but it's, I see a community and a homogeneity and a friendliness and a happiness amongst the people here that is missing in England. But I also see an absolute entitlement and selfishness, which we only see in England amongst the invaders. We don't see it in English people. English people are incredibly polite and people-pleasing. Now, and people assume those are positive things. Now, they are very positive in many ways. They create a nice environment, but actually, it also, particularly the people-pleasing, actually comes from disempowerment. Very different out here. But then in some ways very similar. I see a lot of people-pleasing too, like what I was saying earlier about them not telling you the truth. And it's just strange. It's just the paradox of life, maybe. But yeah, I don't understand why they're so scared of just getting changed in the change rooms. It's obviously a cultural faux pas, maybe, to be naked or something like that. But to me, it's so much worse to make people wait for the shower just because you don't want to get your wang out in the changing rooms, is what I assume it is. I mean, who knows? 4, burning plastic. 5, driving on the wrong side of a road. 6, doing my best impression of an NPC zombie and wearing a However, steak, chips and egg for £2 I can definitely get with sunshine. Oh my goodness. I don't think I ever finished my Dow update, the dog. Yeah, so he did my head in a bit the last time I had him around, and then he fell asleep. It's so easy to love him when he's asleep, and it's quite easy to think, why the fuck am I getting involved in this when he's chewing on your hand and scratching at your leg and just demanding constant physical attention. And also I've kind of got over, at first there was a bit of a story of like, maybe I'll take this dog on, or if I don't, maybe I'll come back and be part of its life. But then you realise, there's so many fucking dogs you can help, and that's just, that's never going to happen. And also, from again, the cultural differences, from how English people not even look after dogs, how they just see a dog and see a pet and have the concept of what a pet is so different. But I just assumed that they didn't really want him because they treat him like shit, and it's borderline abuse. But that's what having a pet is here for the majority. I do know somebody else, a girl who, for very good reasons I've not shown you, she helps me with certain supplies. She's got 2 cats and a dog, and it's a very different story. So I spent 2 evenings ago, he was with me from about 6 PM till about 1 in the morning, and I decided Yeah, I really like Tita with this when he's asleep. So when he's awake, I'm like, I'm definitely putting him back in the garden. I'm not sacrificing my morning lying, because basically if he stays there, I have to get up at 7 a.m. He gets me up at 7 a.m. I have to go outside, otherwise he's going to piss and shit in the flat. And then I'm awake and I've lost my lying, which is basically one of my main coping mechanisms at the moment, is to just sleep as long as I can and get rid of most of the day as I can, because, you know, life is on the whole quite boring, and it's just easier if it doesn't have to happen and I can just sleep. but actually I'm at the point where that's not really a thing. Like, I can fill my days quite easily now. It's just the evenings are incredibly boring. And then last night I didn't go and get him because I've kind of realised that the chances are I'm not going to be in that flat in maybe 5 days time. So it's actually cool to, you know, let him sleep in my bed, even letting him sleep on the sofa, which obviously I do, and my bed. And when he's going to be an outdoor dog, he's going to be an outdoor dog that gets very little attention. That's the reality. That's what his life is going to be. And it's going to be harder if he knows, you know, the other way. White way. I really don't get the plastic burning thing, or the burning thing in general, really, because there's bins everywhere that are free and are always emptied. So I don't know if it's like, is it Gazapur in India, outside of Delhi, where they just have so much rubbish that you could justify burning some. You know, I don't know if it's so these people, the cafe people, aren't like retarded enough to burn plastic, but they still burn all their cuttings, all their trimmings. I don't understand why. Like, when it's all free, and unless they know something I don't, that like actually like that the system can't cope with green cuttings, and of course you have to burn those. You know, maybe it's my lack of understanding. You know, even here, even in this one, we've got plastic pots and a plastic cup. Like, what is it about burning plastic? What don't they get? Like, why do they do it? And it's on fire now, that. And how do they not realise that the air quality is horrible? Anyway, I should have filmed it. I told myself there's no point filming the food delivery, but something interesting has happened. They've stopped giving me cucumber because I always leave it, and they've dropped the bed down to 2 slices because I very rarely eat it. And I just pointed at the all tomatoes instead of cucumber and went, ah, good. It's like, yes, and then pointed at the bed. Hello, little one. What are you doing? Is it time to... Oh, where have you gone? Oh, he's just there behind the fence. Dow! Oh, I think it's time for some attention for Dow. Hey! Hey, silly one. Why did you get out of my last shot? It would have been a good shot, that, if you'd have played along. Hey, do you want some attention? Do you want some attention? Hey, time for Dow to have a little bit of fun funs. Yes, a little bit of fun funs for Dow Dows. Oh, Dowsy, 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 Dowsy. Yes, hello, Dowsy. See what I mean with his clawing? He's constantly clawing. But it's just because he never gets any attention, do you mean? No, you don't. We're ready for a mad hour or two now. Yes, hello, hello, hello. Let's get your toys. Oh, you found the first one, well done. And there's the second one. Yeah! Oh, dowsies. Finally. After a couple of hours of non-stop play. Oh, you're waking up again. The hours finally dropped. Night night, everyone. Thank you for watching.